Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Gamey Daddy channel. So today I wanted to go ahead and continue the discussion on a potential year 3 and a potential division 3 release. Now, a lot of the things that I will say are my opinion, but they are not without reference. I have a lot of reference from the division 1 studying its release cycle of content and the progression of that game's development. If anyone, would wonder where I'm getting a lot of my information, anecdotes, or whatever from, that is exactly where I'm getting it from. It's either they didn't play Division 1 or when they were playing Division 1, they were not paying attention to these things. I went back and did a little bit more digging just so I can get some accurate dates, and I realized that the underground expansion of the Division 1, which is actually quite similar to Skyscraper, was released in June of 2016. I will link you a Forbes article written by Paul Tassi to that effect. And one of the reasons I remember this expansion was because I was on a PlayStation 4. And specifically, PlayStation 4 players had to wait a month to get into this expansion. It was quite annoying, to say the least. I think it was one of the reasons that I started plotting how I would move to the PC platform. So for those who wonder why I'm a Division player, I think this was one of the big reasons. Once Xbox players and PC players got to play Underground and all of the new content for about a month. You know what a month is in the Division, right? A month is like a light year when it comes to farming and progression. Thankfully, the game didn't have crossplay then, and we just thought it was a very unfair gig that Massive tried to gain some exclusivity, timed exclusivity content with the Division 2. But a lot of Xbox players said, well, sit down, shut up. Destiny and Call of Duty seems to do the same thing. And I thought, man, I really don't want to be a part of the ecosystem where these two companies are fighting over trash content and putting players behind. So I moved to the PC platform a short period after that. Following that, the survival mode also was launched in November of 2016, according to the Division Wiki fandom. So a few months just after Underground was released, survival was released. So I guess that says or speaks something too. If they're following that pattern, we're most likely going to be seeing that movement to new expansion territory. But as it stands, I don't think they can deliver just survival for just $30. I think that level 50 grind and level 50 progression will be an important source of content for them to be able to leverage. Whether it's going to be free or whether it's going to be a story or narrative driven package that will have its own perks while everybody can move to level 50, that is yet to be known, because not until they make announcements are we going to find out. Now, another game that actually came out and did a story expansion before dropping additional items was actually Mortal Kombat 11. They dropped the Aftermath DLC, which was another few hours of story and narrative driven aspects, and then they were able to drop some new characters. I don't see the Division 2, using any other formula other than, that's different from that, in my opinion anyways. I think they'll do that. Players will be able to get to level 50, maybe move to a new, power level, power cap, and be able to farm gear, progress, and then now we have another whole layer of farming. But now, not only are we going to be farming gear from scratch, we now have an optimization station where you can convert basically almost all of your level 40 gear to items that you could use to be able to level up your level 50 gear. And I think that is the strategy that Massive wants to employ. I don't think the strategy of bringing the optimization station is just so that they can say, okay, here's an optimization station, guys. We love you. And, we're going to bring out, the next content. Please buy it. No, I think it's there to kind of temper down the grind that the next layer of progression is going to require. And how I have not heard anyone, or maybe because I'm just in my own little bubble here thinking about the game, I haven't necessarily heard many make the connection so far that an optimization platform or the mechanic itself, it's there in order to be able to kind of reduce the harshness of the RNG if we had to go higher at another 10 levels. So think about it. You're looking for a backpack that you had a perfect level 40 version of, and then you you hit level 50, do you want to be subject to the RNG again? Many players are not going to like that. That is one thing I know for sure. But if you have an optimization station that can actually take the gear and actually modify to exactly what it is that you actually did want, now you're talking. I think that is a better proposition for players, and I think players are more than likely going to sign up for that. I'm not saying that they will, I'm saying they are more likely to sign up for that. And so this is where I see the progression of the game going. I've been looking as well at, just some other things that they did in the Division 1, even late down the road. They brought the Resistance DLC after all of these. So if you kind of calculate and say, okay, incursions, which in our case, we have raids, looking at the Survival DLC, looking at the Underground DLC, it's interesting that the Division 1 has much less content than the Division 2 actually does have by its second year. And that's actually pretty cool, in my opinion. I think we have gotten some more value from, this game in terms of content. Now, I have to say, some people may not like the content that's in Division 2, and that's fine. But it's hard to argue that we haven't had enough content. Even till now, the game still provides a living world, a living ecosystem that can keep you playing over and over again. And I wanted to just take a side note to address something about replayable content. I've been seeing a lot of the comments asking for replayable content, and I don't necessarily understand exactly what that means. Are they talking about more exciting and fun content? Maybe that's what they're talking about, because I think the entire map right now, other than Kingly College that's been taken offline, you can actually go anywhere you want and hit restart in main missions and play, the open world activities over and over again by resetting the map if you wanted to. So perhaps I think what they're saying is exciting content. So I think I want to make sure I highlight that before I go on to say this aspect of exciting content that the community is actually asking for, I think is where, survival is going to come into the Division 2 as part of a year 3 package. I think year 3 is going to be quite robust. That's my thinking anyways. And it has to be robust. It has to have that survival aspect of it. It has to have some form of a narrative, that comes with it, and even some mechanic that is something that we've basically dreamed about. And yes, there is a content drought. I did make a video talking about it. But, to be very frank, my perspective on this game continues to change every day. And there are people in the community who, feel this game has not provided any value. But, perspectives do change, and mine is changing. And I'm seeing that this game has provided me a lot more value than, any other game that I've played out there. The reason for that, I can't necessarily share. I'm kind of a little more secretive about a project that I'm actually working on. And when I bring that project to light, I think it will really provide a lot of context as to my position on the Division 2 game. And I also wanted to temper down some of the comments that, go along the lines of saying, we're just, kissing and kowtowing to the development team or developers. Honestly, I don't know anyone in the studio there. I don't know anyone, and I actually don't want to know anyone in the studio there, to be very frank with you. And I doubt they want to know who the heck I am, to be very honest, because I have been very critical of this development team. I think what I'm seeing is a tail end of, audience members that are just seeing a lot of my new content, which started around the release of Warlords of New York, where I said, you know what, I'm going to take a positive look at the game, and I'm going to, run that journey for a while. And I think that journey has paid off for me in the sense that I'm starting to understand that game development is a madhouse. Game development is actually a technological miracle. Some people may not believe it, but those of you who are software engineers here who have basically smacked me in the mouth when I said nonsense and told me to go do my homework, I really do appreciate you guys. Because if it wasn't for y'all, I would be here spouting all kinds of ignorant nonsense because I didn't understand what the process entailed. And as that perspective goes, you will hear my tone be a little different. It's not because of some other nefarious activity. That dramatic sounds very delicious. Like, he might be in the pockets of the developers. Well, that's just whispers without any evidence. But like I usually say, I look forward to the best with the Division 2. I'm really excited about what this game was able to bring, what the game is still bringing. Yes, we have had lag in content. We've had controversy. We've had everything. But still, we have a game that we can click play and it will work. Yes, it may be buggy. Your gear may get lost. You may get delted. Yes, all of the above. But at the end of the day, we still come back. I guess that says something about either the game or us. I'll talk to you all in the next video. Peace.